Okay, we looked briefly at walls. Let's look at the floors now. Here's a couple of floor types, and it works very similarly. So if I pick this floor, it's going to tell me it's a steel bar joist with vinyl tile on concrete. So if I go to Edit Type and I edit that structure, you're going to see the vinyl composition tile, lightweight concrete, metal deck, structural steel bar joist layer. So it's just vinyl composition tile on top of all of that. If I hit cancel out of there and I pick this guy and I go to Edit Type, the generic one, and I edit that, you'll see that it is just like the generic wall. It's just 1 foot thick of a non-defined material. So you're using generic things when you're not sure what you're going to be using, and you can always update them later, either by modifying the existing, right? Like I could come in and modify this and turn it to concrete and change the thickness, or by duplicating like we did for the wall. So if we were to create a floor, the floor is going to be created flat. The wall starts at whatever layer, whatever level is current, and then goes up based on either a height or a layer or a level restriction. The floor is going to be created on the level that you are currently on if you're in a floor plan. So if I go to floor, I can then come in and pick the type of floor that I want. So if I want wood joist with wood finish, I'll pick that. And then what it wants me to do is make a closed shape. So it wants to pick walls right now. There's a pick line, there's a rectangle, there's a line command. So if I wanted to do a circular floor, I could come in and just do a circle here, right? And it's going to draw an outline, and then when I hit check, it's going to create that floor based on that outline. So it's basically an extrusion that has layers. When I go to Edit Type, it will show you under the structure those layers, just like the wall, right? And then similarly, we'll look at both of these at the same time. If I pick the floor, I can go to Edit Boundary, and I can pick that, and I could make this 10 feet, right? And then I could hit check, and it'll make it 10 feet. Or I can go to Edit Boundary, and if I put another circle inside of it and hit check, it will cut a hole in the center of that. All right. Same thing for the walls. So if you need to make a wall shorter, you can always shorten the height of it if it's unconnected, or you can connect it to another level, like level 2, and now it's connected to level 2, or I get rid of it and I set it to whatever height I want. If I pick the wall, instead of Edit Boundary, it gives me an Edit Profile. If you need to do something that is non-uniform or non-rectangular to the wall, like say you wanted to cut a odd hole in the middle of it, you can do that by modifying the profile. So if I wanted to have just a slice cut out of this wall, I could modify the profile and make this continuous, which means I need to have this trimmed and this trimmed. So I'm going to go to my break split element up here, and it gives me a little X-Acto blade, and that's going to split that line in half. Then I'll go to my trim, pick what I want to save, and hit check. So it kind of acts like the floor, right? Except it's vertical. So I can also pick this and edit the profile and put a circle right there and hit check, and I'll get that guy sitting in the center. So very similar, just sort of slightly different applications. If you want to reset it, you can reset the profile. Okay. Now doors and windows will make holes in walls. Really, editing the profile is for unique or unusual shapes. Okay. So floors, there are some other options that come along with floors that we'll look at a little bit later, but you should be starting to get sort of the similarity. Ceilings are the same as floors. So if I pick this ceiling, compound ceiling, drywall and metal stud, if I go to Edit Type, edit the structure, I've got a 3 5/8 stud with gypsum wallboard on it, right, for the finish on the bottom. And that's very straightforward. I think you can start to understand how these work, right? There's a compound ceiling, that's the acoustic tile, and there's a 2x4. So these are very similar. So what I think I want you to understand mostly is that if you have a simple ceiling or a simple wall or a simple floor, it's very straightforward in Revit, and there's a lot of flexibility there. If you need something that is unique, then you might have to work a little bit to get it. There are some other options with roofs, like an extruded roof and things like that, that we can talk about if we need to get into that. One other thing that I'll show you, that if you watch the material application, that you can do things. If you have a material on a floor, let's say this floor has the composite tile, the vinyl composite tile on the top, and let's say you just wanted a little bit of this to be wood or to be a different sort of concrete or something like that, and you didn't want to have to cut this out and make a whole new little floor there. You can do something called painting. Okay, so um, maybe I'll do that in the next video, so it's at a separate point.